Welcome. It's good to be back. It is good to be back. Yeah, it's good to be back. What a day of boxing. Like, let me fix this right here. All right, that's good. That was a ton of boxing today. It's midnight now. It's just about to hit midnight here in Texas. It's midnight in Texas, 11 p.m. in El Paso. And I've been watching boxing since 11 o'clock this morning. That's 13 hours of boxing straight. The only time I stopped watching boxing today was to do the last stream. It's a lot of fights today. What did you all think? Tim Bradley called that fight a terrible fight. Do you guys disagree? The Berinchyk Navarrete fight, was that terrible? How did that work out? I was all right. It was all right, my man. I don't know how to read this, but it was all right. It's a lot of boxing today. Tired. This ain't gonna go. The show ain't gonna go on for that long. It's gonna be a little short show. We did one earlier today, 45-minute live stream this morning. Oh God, man! Hey, look, Rocket. Let's not advertise that, man. That's boxing though. We've hit it like 3-4 weeks in a row. We missed this one bad. Nothing really hit. Once Joe Cordina lost, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, it was over before it started with Joe Cordina lost to Anthony Cachachi. I still, man, I don't even know what to make of that. Anthony Cachachi hasn't stopped anyone since 2016, and it was a 2-26 fighter. That was his last knockout. He clearly has no power, and he stopped Joe Cordina. I don't even know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Cordina messed up everyone's parlay, man. If you had Anthony Cachachi by stoppage, you're probably lying. But if you're not lying and you had it by stoppage, pat yourself on the back because that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. The text that you sent me, I didn't know how to read that, though. I'm not sure the text that you're talking about. How much money we lost today? Hey, it was – we made money on the big fight. I took Usyk and I took the over, and we hit on both of those. Other than that, man, it was a loss. It was not great. And that we could have guessed that with Cordina. I was gonna do a video on Frank Sanchez too, and Ajit Kabayal. I was gonna take Frank Sanchez too. It's just nothing went well today, man. This is a lost week. No worries. We haven't missed in a while. We'll get it all back next week. Yeah, Solid Fist Pugilist says, I can't believe he stopped Cordina. His last TKO was in 20. You can see was in 2016 against a 2-26 guy. It was his last stoppage. You can see Cachachi has no power. None. He hit him with 1,000,000 clean shots, and they didn't really have any effect. Like, he hit Cordina with everything. And eventually, it was just too much, and they had to stop the fight. I actually think the fight should have been stopped. It was the third round. But I was texting people saying, he's got no power. Cordina is lucky because if Cachachi could hit at all, I mean, this fight would have been over a long time ago. Cachachi was teeing off on him, but he has no pop. So, Anthony Cachachi is a world champion. What goes on? What in the hell goes on in this world? Anthony Cachachi is a world champion. I don't know if they're going to do a rematch. I don't know what the plan is for Anthony Cachachi. I don't know where we go with that, what becomes of that. I guess a rematch. Look, he hit him late. I thought Cordina won the first 2 rounds. Cachachi hit him on the break. He clearly did. I don't think it was a dirty thing. I don't think he intentionally did it to hurt him. He threw a punch to hurt him, obviously. But I don't think it was a intentional foul or anything like that, but he hit him on the break. It did kind of seem to change the fight, although you could argue Cachachi hit him with a good shot before that. I don't know. Look, that fight's not going to get overturned or anything like that. It is what it is, and Kachachi beat him. Kachachi got the stoppage. He did hit him on the break. That happened. Did it change the outcome of the fight? I don't know, man. It's kind of like the Steve Bartman thing with the Chicago Cubs, where a fan reached over and caught the fly ball. The Cubs were gonna catch. Alou was gonna go over and make the catch, record the out. Instead, the fan reached over, recorded it, and then the Florida Marlins scored 7 straight runs, and then won Game 7. Like, did that guy? Did Steve Bartman, I think his name was? Did he cause the Cubs to lose? I mean, probably not. Did the hit on the break cause Joe Cordino to lose? Probably not. But there's no denying what happened. Like, there's no denying that he hit him on the break, and nothing was done about it. He hit him with a clean shot and it buckled him. He did. He should have been given 5 minutes to recover. Real talk. Unintentional foul, same as a low blow. He should have been given 5 minutes to recover. Not that he would have took it. I don't think it would have made much. It would have made a difference. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I can't really answer that question. And God, I got Fury and Usyk right, because it would have been a total loss. I'll get back in the lab for you guys. I'll get back in the lab. We were 4-0 last week. This week we go 2-3. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I'm looking at this right now. Jai Apataya, and even Jai Apataya was given hell in that fight by Bradis. And I like Bradis, so I mean, it is what it is. It was a good fight. Santillan Norman, I knew was going to be tough. I didn't love taking Santillan in that fight. I just, Norman's flawed. Norman hasn't looked great. But I knew that was going to be a tough fight. And Santillan looked so good with Alexis Rocha. Like, where was that guy? I thought this is close. He's going to get a decision in his hometown. It didn't work out that way. He got manhandled by Brian Norman, specifically after the first few rounds. He just kind of got dominated, got beaten down. But that's boxing. Look, usually we go 4-0, 5-1, 4-1. Didn't work out that week. Didn't work out this week. We'll get him back next week. We'll rebuild. This was a crappy week. Ridiculous things happen, like Anthony Kachachi knocks out Joe Cortina and becomes super featherweight world champion via knockout. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, I like to see the amount of people. You know how DraftKings shows us sometimes percentage of bet. What percentage of people bet Kachachi by knockout? That's what I want to know. I honestly want to know that. I missed the Navarrete fight. I had a 5-fight parlay. Just needed Navarrete for a KO. Picked Norman Jr. for a KO in a parlay. Would have won $3,000. Oh, you picked Norman Jr. by KO? Damn. That's a good pick. What made Rocket? What made you leading up to it? Santillan looked so good against Rocha. What made you think that Norman Jr. was going to stop him? Or did you just like the odds? Like, did you just really, really like the odds? It's worth taking a risk on? Because that's a great pick, man. Did you also pick Anthony Kachachi to win by stoppage? Because that now I need your crystal ball, because that would be ridiculous if you did. I going into the fight, I really thought that Navarrete would get a late stoppage. I thought there was a good chance he'd get a late stoppage. I was 50-50. I didn't really think Berinchyk had much of a chance to win. Navarrete was just so bad. Like, look, I said I got a chance to scout him when he was still fighting in Mexico, and it's like the list of pros and the list of cons on him are so long. Like, it was the longest list I've ever assembled. And I'm looking at Navarrete, I'm like, I don't know what to make of this guy. I really don't. Like, he does a lot of things well. He does things I like, but he's so flawed and he's so bad. But he can beat guys. And you see him throwing these wide, wild shots. You're like, okay, as he steps up in competition, he's not going to land. And as he steps up in competition, he kept landing. Well, that kind of came crashing in tonight. And he's still as bad as he was tonight, and he was horrible. He still almost pulled that off. I had a draw on my card. I'm not complaining. I don't care that the decision went the other way. It's completely understandable. I had no problem with that decision going either way. I had it 6-6. I scored 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 11, 10, and 11 for my boy Navarrete. I thought he was in good shape early on, and then things got away from him in those 6, 7, 8, 9 kind of rounds. It is what it is. Like I said, I had a draw. I had 6-6, but I'm not going to complain that it went to Berinchyk. Like, that was a horrible fight. Neither man deserved to win. Someone had to win, and it went to Berinchyk. Yo, Ukraine runs boxing, apparently. Ukraine runs boxing. All the underdogs won tonight. Yeah. I mean, it was a night for the underdog. That's for sure, Ryan. I thought he would rise to the occasion. He did. Yeah, I just thought Santion in his backyard for a world title, coming off that Rocha fight. I was expecting him to really, really give a good performance. I mean, Brian had more KOs. I just thought he was tougher. Good for you, man. I was watching. It was a hard fight. It was a hard fight to pick, for sure. I thought the odds were wide, but I just thought, I had to go with Santion based off his last performance. His last performance against Rocha was so good. What are you gonna do? Oh, Navarrete missed a lot. He looked bad. Rocket, I've never Navarrete is what he is, right? Like, he's a flawed fighter, but an effective fighter. Today was so bad. It's like the worst version of him. And I don't know. He's got to go back down to 130. His power is not really game-changing at 135. He's got to get back down to 130. Get in there, mix it up with those guys. Go fight Valdez. Go fight O'Shaquie Foster. Go, Top Rank has a stable at 130. Go fight those guys, because at 135, man, that was a bad look. You know what else was a bad look that I didn't touch on the early show? Sergey Kovalev. Did Sergey Kovalev train for that fight? First of all, he looked fat. Second of all, that was just awful. Sergey, and then one of the judges had a 1-point fight, meaning without the last second knockdown, that fight's a draw. What fight? Where do these judges get these scorecards from? But yeah, Sergey Kovalev, class act, looked absolutely horrendous in that fight. I mean, just awful. Across the board, awful. Just terrible. I don't ever want to see that again, Sergey. Just retire. Bradis, on the other hand, about the same age as Kovalev. I think a year or two younger. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Bradis again. I really wouldn't. That was a good fight, I thought, from Bradis. I like what he did. At all. 135 is not him. Honestly, Shakur is going to cook everyone at 135. Shakur, Tank, Davis. What do you think? If you think Shakur is going to beat him, I don't disagree. Shakur is a class act of a fighter. He really is. His skills are sensational. He's the best pure boxer since Floyd. How do you counteract what Tank Davis does, though? Tank Davis isn't just a one-shot artist. He sets things up. He can box. He can do a lot of things to score. He's patient. He's got excellent timing. I don't know who I pick in that fight. Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson. I don't know. I'm not saying Shakur can't win. He certainly could. But Tank could knock him out too. Yeah, Tank just needs to step up. Tank is only beat Jose Pedraza. I mean, that's not fair. He's got to win over Leo Santa Cruz. He's got to win over Mario Barrios, which looks really good in retrospect. He's got wins. Like, Tank's resume isn't great, and it's still kind of hard to put him on the pound for pound list because it's not that good of a resume. He's got some wins, Rocket. Like, let's be fair to Tank. He's got to win over Isaac Cruz. It's not the. I mean, he's about to turn 30. It's not the resume you would want for him to have. You know, coming off that Pedraza fight he got when he was like 23. So that win was what, 7 years ago? Is that right? 2017, 2018, something. Yeah. This is not where you thought he would be. That's for sure. But he's got other decent wins. Everyone's got Shakur. Everyone's got Shakur over Tank. Solid. Fist Pugilist got Shakur. Shakur beat Joey Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez. Easy. I was a Joet Gonzalez fan. I still like Joet Gonzalez, but yeah, Shakur dominated him. Tank by KO. Ryan Hong has Tank A. But what about Hector Tanahara? Hector Tanahara smokes all of them, right? Hector Tanahara stops Tank Davis. Stops him. Tank is good, but I got Shakur more accomplished. He weight drained Barrios. It's a fair point, Rocket. He did weight drain Barrios. He did. And they wanted to bring the fight down more. They wanted to move it down to 138 and then give him the 10-pound rehydration clause. Really drain him. So that's a fair point. That's a fair point, but they didn't agree at 140. Of course, Tanahara would have stopped. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I do. Tanahara would have finished off Fury in the ninth. Ukraine runs boxing. Ukraine runs boxing. It's been an amazing week run, starting with Lomachenko, and then Usyk and Denis Berinchyk. And I'd be surprised to find out if Anthony Kachachi is not Ukrainian. Like, I think he's adopted or something, but he's got Ukrainian blood. This Anthony Kachachi thing, man, I think he's gonna haunt me forever. How did he do that? Like, how did he win? By stoppage. If you would have told me he outpointed him, won a close split decision, I'd be like, nah, okay. You tell me he stops Joe Cordina? There's no way. Tank is disappointing to me. Shakur is more accomplished. Real fans know Shakur to more so far. Yeah, no, I agree. Look, Shakur's been a good champion. He's moved up in weight. He's taken good challenges. Look, Shakur could definitely win the fight. I'm just saying, Tank Davis has a chance to knock out anybody. That includes Shakur Stevenson. Who do I pick? I don't know. I don't know. Kachachi, how the hell? Man, I have no clue. I don't even know what happens. I don't know what goes on, man. I don't know what goes on. Kachachi's punch resistance has always been bad. Cordina's punch resistance has always been bad. Was it bad against Rakhimov? Was it bad with Eddie Vasquez? Because was it? I'm not saying you're wrong, Ryan. I just don't remember it being that way. Shakur's taking more risks than Tank. Yes, he's taking more risks than Tank. That is absolutely true. But my 9-year-old daughter, who's afraid to leave the house, takes more risks than Tank. To be fair, yeah, the Cordina fight got haunt me just like the Tim Tszyu fight. The Tim Tszyu fight, I don't like Tim Tszyu. I don't think he's that good. And I picked him to win only because I picked him to lose to Mendoza. I picked him to lose to Harris. I'm like, all right, I guess he's going to win again, even though I don't really think so. And then he gets destroyed. But to be fair, I think if they rematched, he would beat Fundora. Because after the elbow, whatever it was, you could see it changed the fight. He had that look in his eye against Rakhimov. some shaky moments. And Rakimov's not all that good. Like, let's be reasonable. Rakimov's not that special of a fighter. And it was a close fight. I thought he beat Rakimov and he got the decision. I thought he deserved it, but Rakimov's not that good. And Eddie Vasquez, honestly, Eddie Vasquez beat him. I know the decision didn't go that way. Eddie Vasquez clearly beat Joe Cordina. It was a close fight. It was competitive. Eddie Vasquez clearly won more rounds than Joe Cordina did. They gave the first 4 rounds to Joe Cordina, and that kind of set the pace. That kind of set the tone. 8-4 Vasquez. That was a ridiculous decision. Poor Eddie Vasquez got robbed. How much different would Eddie Vasquez's career be looked at if he got the decisions he deserved over Cordina and Raymond Ford? It's 2 world champions he would have beaten, right? Like, his career would be viewed totally different. He'd be on the top of everyone's list, making a ton of money. Now he's got to go be an opponent. And he may or may not get a big fight coming up in July. Stay tuned for that. I think I unplugged. Hang on, y'all. All right, we're good. My computer was about to die because my cord got unplugged, and I was unaware of that. What else Rocket got? Shakur has the best sparring partner. Terrence Crawford. Yes, I know it's just sparring, but man, sparring makes you sharp. Sparring, but man, Terrence has a huge impact on Shakur's career. Tank said to Frank Martin that he is trash. Look, this is a challenge. Tank Davis and Frank Martin is a good fight. Frank Martin is a world-class fighter. Frank Martin's an excellent fighter. This will be interesting. I do hope that Tank and Shakur is next. Because remember, Shakur's got 1 fight left on his deal. That's in, June, July in Newark. That's the last fight on his deal. Then he'll be a free agent. Him and Tank, hopefully they work that out, because that's that's the fight in boxing I want to see right now, because we just got the heavyweight fight. We got the heavyweights. And I want to talk about Usyk. Because what I think Usyk should do at this point is just retire. Just retire. Usyk is the best cruiserweight of all time. And I know I'm a Holyfield fan too. And that's going to upset people. But he's the best heavyweight. He's the best cruiserweight of all time. And he's the best heavyweight of this era. A great heavyweight era. A heavyweight era that includes Fury, AJ, Wilder. A really good era of heavyweight. Usyk's the king of that era. So, the best heavyweight of his era, the best cruiserweight of all time. What does he have left to prove? He has nothing left to prove. That's it, right? Like, there's nowhere he can go from there. There's nowhere up. Best cruiserweight ever, best heavyweight of the era. He can only go down from here. So he's made more money than he can spend. And I know they're going to be waving $100 million in front of him to fight Usyk again, to fight Fury again. So my guess is he's going to take a fight. If I was advising him, I'd say, look, listen, you're rich for the rest of your life. Your kids are rich for the rest of their lives. You'll never meet the people in your bloodline who aren't rich off of what you've done. Just call it a career. Your career, your legacy can't get any better. It can only go down, just like Juan Manuel Marquez after he killed Pacquiao dead. That's it. I'm done. Like, that's what I needed to do. That's what I did. Alexander Usyk is the best cruiserweight ever and the best heavyweight of his era. That's it. Done. Walk away. Just call it a career. You're 36. I know there's still money to be made. I fully understand that. But that's it. Like, you've done everything you can do in the sport. Usyk is king of the hill. I agree. And now we have a really, really intriguing 3-man battle for pound king of the sport. Who do you guys think is the pound for pound king? Usyk, Inoue, or Bud? Right? Because we can go in either direction here. We can really go, and it doesn't. You can make a good argument for any three of them. Do you think Usyk Fury 2 is competitive? Yeah, I think it's competitive, but I think Usyk wins. I mean, Usyk is getting older. He's 36. He'll be 37 when I do a rematch. It's competitive, but I still think Usyk wins. Usyk, no doubt, is pound for pound number one. I'm thinking about putting him at one, but like, let me ask you this, right? Did you have Usyk at number one pound for pound before this fight? We just saw Inoue. Inoue got dropped. Crawford. You can make an argument for any three of those guys. You really can. I want you guys to know. Put it in the chat. Who do you guys think is number one pound for pound? I know Ryan thinks it's Usyk. I'm leaning towards Usyk too, but I think you can make an argument for any of the three. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Usyk. I'm gonna make another list of the best fighters of the last 20 years or something like that. You know what Shakur said to the public that Tank personally told him he doesn't want to take any tough fights. He wants to take easy fights and retire. I believe him too. Look at his. I believe him. And look, if you can get paid for easy fights, take the money, but it's going to tarnish your legacy. Like, you can't have both. You can't have an all-time great legacy and say, I only want to take easy fights and make money. Like, you got to pick one. Do you want the legacy? Do you want to be one of the great fighters of all time? Or do you want to take easy fights and make a bunch of money? It's up to you. No, call me crazy. I think Sam Goodman beats Inoue. Yeah, Ryan. I'm going to call you crazy. I can't. I know in a way it's getting up there in age now. I think 30, which is kind of old for a little man, especially a little man who keeps jumping up in weight. But do you really think Sam Goodman is going to beat him? I'm looking. All right. Got the TJ Doheny win, Reese Salim. He's good. Sam Goodman. It's impressive what he's done. Beat Inoue though, that's a lot. Rocket says Terrence Crawford and Inoue top dogs. They've moved up a lot of divisions. If Crawford goes to 154 and picks up another belt, it's a lot, man. He's done a lot. And Inoue is a killer. I think you can make a good argument for any of these three. I salute Shakur too. On God, look, Sam Goodman. I'm gonna study some tape on him. But you're right. You look at Sam Goodman. Obviously, he's good. His resume for what he's done, the amount of fights that he has is impressive. It really is impressive. Like I said, Reese Lee was a guy that I thought the world of. He beat him. He got a win over TJ Doheny. He's got good wins. You think picking Liam Paro over Matisse is a good move? I'm gonna tell you this. It's not a bad move. I'm going to do this fight next. Let me watch the film on both dudes. Paro is good, and Matias is good, but he's flawed. And I want to look for a couple of things. That's an interesting fight. I don't think it's a bad idea to pick Paro, but before I give my official pick, I got to go back. I got to study a lot of tape on that because that is a very difficult fight to pick. Man, I missed the 80s and 90s era of boxing. They were gold. Gold. No, I agree. The 90s were just gold, period. The fashion, the sports. 90s were gold. 90s, the culture peaked so hard in the 90s. The 90s, 1996 is probably the greatest year ever. Let's just be real. 1996 is probably the best year ever. Take me back. 98 was also a very good year, but culture peaked so hard in that time span. It's hard to believe that that was 30 years ago. 1986, Chicago Bulls 72-10. Evander Holyfield stops Mike Tyson. The Yankees won the World Series. 1996 was just probably the best year ever. Starter jackets. Air Jordan 11s, 96. 96 is probably the best year ever. What about Wilder Zhang? Oh, this is another tough one, man. Wilder Zhang is brutal. Like, because you want to pick Zhang because Wilder looks so bad. But, like, let's think about this. What does Zhang do? He stands in front of you and he's easy to hit. If you stand in front of Wilder and you're easy to hit, how do you not get knocked out? So, again, I got to go watch more tape on this. I got to go replay the tape. But off the top of my head, I would take Wilder. I would. I like Wilder in that. But Wilder looks so bad in his last fight, like so bad. It's hard. I like that fight though. I think that's going to be an interesting fight. I think that's going to be a fun fight. I really do. Guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Give me a like. It's free. It's easy. Hit the thumbs up button. Also, join the Patreon. I know this is a bad time to advertise, but join the Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get a whole lock of the week. Ask me anything. I'll handicap a fight for you. There's a free T-shirt involved. Join the Patreon. Link is in the description. Join the Patreon. We're going to wrap this up soon unless there's something you guys want to talk about. So Dennis Berinchyk, who does he lose his titles? Who loses their world title first? Berinchyk or Anthony Kachachi? Who has a shorter title reign? Because neither one of those guys are going to be holding on to their belts very long. The 5-on-5 is coming up, champ. That has to be at least a 4-fight parlay on your Patreon. We'll look at it. I'm looking forward to the 5 versus 5. I wish they would do this. Promoters would work together to do this more often because that's really cool. Like we need to see more of that. We definitely need to see more of that. And we got Pro Box this Wednesday too, right? Pro Box is this Wednesday. Who fights on the Pro Box card this week? Is it any good? Also, guys, I'm thinking about doing more live streams, like when news breaks, things like that, rumors, fight announcements. You guys want more lives? You guys want more live streams? I'll do them, but only if you guys are going to check them out. If you're not going to watch them, I'm not going to do them. I'm not going to have my feelings. If you don't want to watch them, I'm not going to have my feelings hurt. I'm a boxing bookie, but I follow news announcements, things like that. So one of the lives, and just chop it up, and I can have you guys jump on if you want to join me to talk about news and give your thoughts too. But let me know if you guys want me to do more live streams, talk about the news of the day as such. All right. Ryan says I'd watch. Rocket says, yeah, more lives. I'd watch. All right, solid. Okay. Let me get back to this. It helps boxing. Yeah, the 5-on-5s, these promoters working together to put on these shows definitely helps boxing. This is a no lose. Like, this is a win-win. It's great for the fight fan. It's just great. Great fights. Promoters working together. Breaks the ice, but it's good. I'm thinking about this parlay. Ford, Paro, Amma Williams, Wilder. Yeah. Everyone likes Ford over Nick Ball. Even though Raymond Ford wanted to fist fight me at a press conference, and he clearly doesn't like me, I still think he's pretty good. But I think Nick Ball's really good too. Like, I don't know about that one. Amma Williams not winning. Ryan Hong throwing shade at the Texan. Hamza's good, man. If you want my take on that fight, you may have to join the Patreon. That's a tough fight to call. That's a really good fight. I'm surprised that both promoters would make that at this stage of their career. I could see either guy winning that fight. It's a tough fight. Hamza and Ammo Williams. Ammo's my boy. I want him to win. I don't know, man. I don't know if he wins that fight. But like, what has Ammo showed you that when has Ammo not looked really good? When has he showed you? Okay, he's a flawed fighter. He's fought better competition than Hamza, that's for sure. It's a great fight. A great fight. I'm in Texas. If I'm going to do lives once a day, what's a good time to do them? What's a good time to do lives? Let me know. I want to know. I'll just try to do lives around mornings, afternoons, nights, red eye streams at 2 in the morning. You guys, what works? Like, I'm in Texas, so it's 12:35 my time. What's a good time to do live streams? Y'all would listen. Nick Ball and Ray. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. I don't know who wins that fight. I think Raymond Ford is good, and I think he's really fast. But I think he's flawed in a lot of areas. Nick Ball is flawed in areas too, but he's a wrecking ball. That's a tough fight. Afternoon lives? So like 2, 3 o'clock? Is that good? 6 p.m. Pacific time. So 8, 5, 6, 8. Rocket, what time zone are you in? I don't even know. Rocket, what part of the country are you in? What 6 p.m. Pacific time would be 8 my time. That's possible. 5 p.m. Okay. It'll go on 45 minutes, an hour or so, I guess. We can do that. We can definitely do that. All right. I think I'm going to start that. Yeah. All right. Rockets on the East Coast. Maybe I'll do 2 live streams a day. Who knows? Maybe I'll do one at 4 for Rocket, and maybe I'll do one at 8 my time for Solid Fist Pugilist. I don't know. I could do that if I wanted to. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? What's on your mind? Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up. Like I said, it's after 12:30 my time. I've had a long day. I'm sitting on the couch watching boxing, but I do like stop every couple of hours to do some push-ups and some dumbbell curls, just to not be a complete lazy waste of life. Like to do something. But like Saturdays for me are usually like this. Like Saturdays during college football season, I wake up, I watch college game day. There's usually boxing on, so I'm just watching TV all day. Today it was just boxing all day. Like Saturdays, I usually do nothing. So this was not out of the ordinary for me. So set my alarm every couple of hours, bang out 20 push-ups, a bunch of bicep curls, just to stop the laziness for at least 10 minutes. Who do you have Catterall Taylor too? Catterall. I like Catterall. I thought Catterall won the first one. I think Catterall won the second one. Next week's fight should be good. Taylor and Catterall. Yeah, it should be. I like Catterall. Who y'all got? Yeah, I think Catterall will be. Yeah, I got to do an interview with Catterall. He's an interesting guy for sure, and I think he got robbed too. I absolutely think he got robbed. Catterall, yeah. I think a lot of people. I think Josh Taylor is drained at 140. I think he's a little aged. I think he's a little past his prime. I think he should have moved to 47 a while ago. And I think Catterall he's got a lot more in the tank. And I think Catterall will be better. And I think Taylor will not be as good. So I like Catterall in the fight. I definitely like Catterall in that fight. All right, y'all. 12:40 my time. Watching boxing for 13 hours today. 2 live streams in. I'm gonna wrap it up unless there's something else you want to ask me, you want me to answer, something else interesting to talk about. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's May 19th, 2024. Join the Patreon. Link is below. It's also in the description. Off topic, but do you think Dimitri Priag would have made it far? Like, would he have won a world title? Depends on his promoter. That depends. Can we get him a vacant belt? That is it's that's an interesting question. Because he got the win over Ashita. I feel like he had a Gennady Martirosyan was the other win. I feel like he had some decent wins. Obviously, he got the knockout over Jacobs. So it was Jacobs he destroyed, but Jacobs had cancer. And he's got the win over Martirosyan, Gennady Martirosyan, not Vanas, and Ashita. Yeah, probably. Good question. Good question. I like that question. That's a quality question. Solid fit for Fish Pugilist. I like that. All right, y'all. May 19th, 2024 from Texas. Oh, he was scheduled to fight Triple G. He probably wouldn't have won that fight. That was peak Triple G, right? Yeah, probably would have went well for him. But I like the Dimitri Priag. Cool out. It was good. From Texas to the world, thank you and God bless.